domain of data science, you can say deep learning, machine learning, these kind of fields. And he's also aspirant for knowledge. He's a developer, programmer, and he's also running quite a few companies where he's director as well and computer science head. And he has guided few projects with IIT Madras and IIT Patna as well. Currently, he is in advisory board on Brain Alive Private Limited and also as principal consultant. Mr. Sujit has filed 5 patents as well and 2 copyrights on his own name. He has also accomplished more than 30 research projects and all. And for that, he has received numerous awards from India and abroad as well. And few of them are also available publicly to the market. I mean, they have been commercialized as well. His main domain is like brain computer interface, and currently he's working at Ulster University and jointly, I mean, there is joint project from Ulster University and IIT Kanpur under UKD fellowship. And also he has keen interest in machine learning, biomedical signal processing, fluid interface. So these are brief introduction about Mr. Sujit. And we have 3 TAs which Mr. Sujit have selected. In detail, Mr. Sujit will tell you about TAs. Just I will brief their name. Dr. Gaurav Garg. He is also a machine learning researcher from Brain Alive Research Private Limited. Mr. Vishal Gaur. He is also data science training in Nokia company in Finland. Our third TA is Mr. Ganeshwara Rao Gorle. He is also a researcher in Brain Alive Private Limited. So guys, these are the brief introduction of our TAs and the speakers. Now I will over to Sujit. Sujit, please.
All right, thank you, Prag, for the introduction, everything. So just to check with Prag, you can hear my voice clearly, right?
Yes, very clear.
Yeah, perfect. So guys, just have a quick introduction with your TAs who will be helping you out on the Slack after the lecture in solving any doubts or anything else. You can reach them out directly. And I'll quickly go ahead with today's lecture, which will be of 1 hour. So I respect with the time. So I would ask all the TAs to switch on their camera quickly, please, so I can see Gaurav Garg here. So he has completed a PhD in computational neuroscience, and he's right now working in Brain Alive, working on OpenCV and machine learning and computer vision projects for emotion and analysis mapping. We have Vishal Gaur. Vishal Gaur is a data science trainee at Nokia headquarters in Finland, and he is working on natural language processing for identifying patents in the global domains. Then we have Ganeshwara Gorle. Ganeshwara Gorle has completed his bachelor's just. So Vishal has completed his master's from Finland itself. Gaurav has completed his PhD. Ganeshwara has completed his bachelor's just now from IIT Patna, and he is working in Brain Alive from the last 1 year in the machine learning domain in designing different algorithms for computer vision and EEG signal analysis for emotions. So now we'll get on with the lecture. So I'll just clearly firstly tell you the format of the lecture. So what we'll be going through is, so we will be discussing important topics. You have the syllabus and stuff. So today's first lecture will be specifically focusing on your basic introduction to the Python, so that everybody is familiar with, and then you can go home and try it out with the notebook. Jupyter Notebook, you can use Jupyter Notebook or Spider, whatever you feel like. You can use Google Colab as well if you're comfortable with it. And then in the following lectures, I will try to explain the concepts and other stuff. This machine learning series is actually designed for basic introduction to the machine learning, as well as you have the information in order to how to implement any model out there or any data set. So this lecture series aims to jumpstart your knowledge in machine learning, overall knowledge machine learning, including NLP even, so that just from the front face of the view, you understand everything clearly. Now, I understand that some of you might crave for a deeper knowledge, but for the deeper knowledge or mathematical derivation or some other stuff, I will explain some of them, but for some other stuff, if you want to dig deep into it, you might be willing to go for your own research and not going with the same class. So right now I'll start sharing my screen, and you will be able to see my screen, and then I'll be implementing it through Jupyter Notebook. So please, everyone, you can open up the Jupyter notebook in your own laptops. Once you are done, you can just write here done, and then I can start with. And TGNC committee, can you enable me to share my screen, please?
Yes, you are good to go.
Right, thanks. So, IITK Jupyter notebook. Are you able to see my Jupyter notebook, everyone?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, perfect. So I hope everybody has their Jupyter notebook open. If anybody has any issues, please write to us. And TAs, please keep looking in the chat. If somebody has, you can reach out to them and help them out, okay? So for other people, just to start with quickly, can you just write out there, if you're fine with it and you want me to go ahead? Chat.
Sujit, please allow them for 5 minutes so that they all can get acquainted with opening this software.
Okay. So to open Jupyter Notebook, you might just open your Anaconda Navigator and you can click on the Jupyter launch. Okay. And once you click on the launch, it will connect with your Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge or whatever you have set the preferences. Since mine is already running. So it will come up like this. So which is whatever your folders are in and everything. So you can go ahead and this thing. And to create a new one, you just need to click on new and then just click on whatever Python you have installed with, so Python 3, and it will open a local host with the new Jupyter notebook. I hope that helps. Yeah, so yeah, thank you. Okay, one got, and then since you emphasize this being about basics, we will not be touching upon deep learning models in any detail apart from the concept. Somebody is asking like basics. No, we will be. I will be trying to give you knowledge about the deep learning models even, and then how to implement them and what sort of data set you can implement from, and also how you can fine tune the model as well. So I'll try to cover all those concepts. Go deeply means only the derivation of the model if you are interested in. So that means that mathematical derivation only. Like once the series is over, you will be able to look at any data and apply with existing model in any data across the globe and get your results. That's my aim. Now, everybody is able to run Jupyter?
Yes.
Okay.
And guys,
So
please respond if you have any problem.
All right. So TAs, please keep looking at the chat, because once I will go to this, I will not be able to look at. So if you think that they are having a problem, just stop me from going ahead.
Yeah, sure.
So, and if somebody is facing a specific issue, you can just chat them privately and go ahead with it. Just take initiative. So in Python, so there can be different methods. This is just brief introduction of Python. So this will help you to use the Python for upcoming lectures and implement it. So you have two different ways of printing. It is Python is you can say that it is a very simple English language implementation actually. So whatever you feel like, you just write it. So to print hello world, you can just print it like this, and two ways of printing. So just try to type this command into this cell. So this part is called the cell. You type it up, and you can run this specific cell. For running it, you can use a shortcut Control plus Enter, and it will give you an output. Okay. And similarly, print method can be used just by writing it in the inverted comma as well. And once you again do the Control Enter, you will see the execution as our output, and you'll see the output. Everybody are together with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So going ahead, so to assigning a variable or something in the coming classes, obviously we'll be using assigning variable and something. This is the elegant way to assign, actually print out the variable. You can just use x is equal to 15, y is equal to 30, and then dot format can be used to print out the value. So you can use dot format x comma y, and you put any values and everything. It will be printed as the value of x is whatever x is here, and the y whatever the y is here. The same format can be used for strings as well. You see here, like the name and then greetings. Okay, so like hello, and then the name is called up, and then greeting is called up. Okay, so it can be changed, and we just keep on printing. So it can help you to generate the large names or something automatically. Sorry, many salutations automatically or something like that. So once you write this up, you can just press enter. Even if you assign the x like this, you can also, if you are using spider or something, you can see that in your console. You type it like x, and it will give you the output of 15 in the variable explorer. One thing is very important actually. So once I am running it, I just launch it even. So let me go here, and let me launch spider as well. So I'll show you one more quick trick before I go ahead, but it's okay. So this is for the strings. It's the same way of printing, nothing new. Then this is the way that you ask for an input in a Python program just by using the input. I told you before, it is just a simplistic English language. So you want to get an input, you will call x. So x is a variable here. You're calling for the input function, and it is taking in a name, right? So, and then you're asking for a printing of x. So once I run this, you see it asks for a enter a name, right? And then I put my name here, and it just print x. Okay, so this is the consecutive output of it. Please try it in your notebook. Can you come again how to run it? Just to run this specific cell, you just need to press just point your cursor anywhere on that in that specific cell, and just press Control plus Enter. Okay. Then you have Python keywords. So Python keywords are like these are the keywords that you cannot use as a variable or any assignment because they will override the methods, right? So these are the specific keywords. You can always get a list of the keywords. I will not recommend you to remember it. Nobody does. But once you start using it, you will come to know that, okay, these are the keywords because they will be highlighted in a different color automatically, right? So, and then you have identifiers. So identifiers are the name that is given to entities like class, function, variables. Okay, and it helps differentiating one identity from another. So it's like simple. You can say in other terms, it is simple variable assigning terms, right? But you can't use any special characters in identifier. For example, you see this is the invalid declaration of variable here. So one variable is equal to 10, and I try to print the one variable. and it is coming up as invalid syntax. But if I use underscore with it, it gets in combination, and then I can see the output here. Right? Are we together on this? Perfect. So then the methods to, since you will be writing a program and everybody likes, in the program, everybody likes that they have comments in their own program to track out where they have made the changes and other stuff. So you have Python comments. For commenting out anything in the Python, you use hash, or for multiple lines, you use double inverted comma, like this, right? So you can, so it is comment, and then it is the multi-line comments. So instead of using hash everywhere, you can just use this. But if you are using a scripting one, I can just quickly, so there are shortcuts as well in order to do that. I think Control R you can use to comment multiple lines as well. But that's in the scripting. For example, let's go for Spider frameworks or any other one, maybe PyCharm or something else. Okay.
Sojit,
Yes, please.
sorry to interrupt. Uh, People are saying please go a little bit slower.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So so where do you want me to repeat from, if somebody?
I think starting from formatting the string would be fine. We have a few comments about that.
Okay. Wow, it's the beginning. Okay. So format is assigning X and Y. Okay. So I'll actually repeat this stuff if many people are facing it. Otherwise, TAs, you can take the problems privately as well, so that we are not wasting time of other people. So I'll try to go slow further ahead. So formatting is very simple here. And so you assign variables and then you use it to give an output in the specific format. So format you use here, like see X comma Y. So it will be always be whatever values are here for the X and Y will be represented here. Similarly, you see for the string, it is here in the dot format. I hope that is clear now. So in other terms, you can call it as a placeholder. If somebody is familiar with TensorFlow old one or something like that, I doubt though, but so you can consider like it's a placeholder, so you can put anything in and use it as well. So I just wanted to show you one more thing. So since I'm using this one, we are using this one, we can just go for Spider as well. And in the Spider, share. So this is my Jupyter, and this is Spider notebook. Right. So if you are able to see, are you? So can you see my Spider notebook? I think, right? So in this one, Spider, one thing is very cool is like you can use X is equal to 15, and you press enter, and you see in the variable it is automatically stored. So you can explore the variables here. You can look at the variables and other stuff, and then. For example, if I want to comment multiple lines, so for example, let's say that this is my one of the definition, and I want to comment these, I can just use a short. One thing is like you have seen how to comment, but one shortcut can be Control and 1. Hello, yeah.
Font size. It's visible to
Okay.
you, but yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So let's see that. Okay. So this is okay Python program. So let's say that I just want to comment this. Okay, so I just selected them and I pressed Control plus 1 and it commented all of them automatically. Okay, so Control 1 plus 1 again to back up and Control plus 1 again to comment and uncomment. Okay, one by one. So this is like Explorer. So in the Spider. So this will be something similar, I think, in PyCharm, which is Control plus slash, I think, but you can just check it. Now let's go back to the Jupyter notebook. So you have multiple lines, Python indentation. Okay, yeah. So this is very important in Python. So indentation, so sometimes it automatically adapts to the indentation, but if the indentation is not correct, you will get error in your program of indentation error. So it is very, for example, after the for, it automatically indent it to the right, and then it will maintain the indentation until unless you run into the another loop. So it's try to structure the program itself. So the indentation is useful here. So if I don't indent it, you will see there will be an indentation error here. See, expected an indented block. So if I just want to type it, I'll show you. Once I write for I is in range 15 and I press enter, it will automatically indent it to the correct station, okay? And then I can just write it. And then when I run it, now it is able to give me all the outputs. Okay. So then again, similarly, in the case of if also, so any conditional statement or looping statement requires an indentation or any definition as well, any function definition as well. So true in machine learning, it will give you, if I just I just change the indentation just a bit and you will see the change actually. So let's say I do like this and then, so as soon as I move it and I run it, indentation error. Somebody is running the television. Can you switch it off, please? Right. So now we have, so there are different data types in Python. So every value in Python has a data type, and everything is object in Python. Data types are actually classes and variables instead of object with these classes. So numbers. So you have integers and floating point numbers and complex numbers that falls under the Python's number category. They are defined as int for integers, float for decimal values, and complex for complex numbers. We can use the type function to know which class a variable or a value belongs to. So you can call in any number and just any variable which you have called stored up and just write in the type, and you will give you what sort of class it or value it belongs to. And then is instance function to check if an object belongs to a particular class. Okay, so let's say equal to 25, and this I write here the is of type X. Even if you just go for like this thing, will give you the class int. Okay, but just to be elegant, I'm not going to change it. Okay, so it will give you the class. The 25 is the type class int because it is an integer. Now this should be float, and once I run it, it will give me 2.5 is the type of class float. So here to learn thing is type. Okay, so anything that you put here in the like this, any variable, and will give you the data type of that one. Similarly, we are looking at a complex number here. X is equal to 1 plus 2j, and then X is a complex number. Then so you see that X, and then you check for the is instance that if my whatever I'm saying is correct or not. So it checks that is instance 1 plus 2j is complex. Okay, and it returns the true. So X is equal to true, and then you have the type of the true are obviously Boolean because it is true or false, and then it shows us the class bool. Okay, so these are just actually whatever I'm telling you right here is basically to tell you, or once you go into the program and once you're designing the model, sometimes it will happen that some specific definition require a specific type of argument, so you should be able to verify it. So similar can be used for verifying any variable that you are inputting into the segment as well. Okay, then here is Python strings. So we all generally know the strings because we have almost done some sort of computing in our school or something. So string is a sequence of characters. So computers do not deal with characters, they deal with numbers. Even though you may be title on the screen, internally it is stored as a manipulated combination of zeros and ones. Conversion of a character to a number is called encoding, and the reverse process is decoding. Sky and Unicode are some of the popular encoding that we used. So I'll just go quickly over it because I think that you guys should generally are aware of this sort of encoding or decoding techniques. Sorry, the string and the integer and other stuff. These are the very basic fundamentals of programming. But if you have any doubt, you can just point me into the chat that if you don't know the concepts, then I can repeat, I can ask them or direct it to them. Okay, so for example, if I'm defining a string, I'll use double inverted comma as you have seen before as well. So here is a string, x is equal to hello, welcome. So now you say that print s, and now it is printed like this. Okay, now s is stored as a string, so it is also stored in the form of, say, list indexing. Okay, so let's say that these are all the strings. So now you look at these characters. Okay, so they start with all the listing start with indexing start with 0. So it is so capital H is at position 0, E is at 1, L is at 2, similarly L is at 3, O is at 4, and then this comma is at 5, and then you have this at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so you say print s is hello welcome, but if you try to use a specific letter from that string or just call up the first variable, you can see print s is equal to s from the 0, and then you'll get the output as h. It is very important sometime when you will get a program, maybe it is not very useful, might be useful for machine learning as well, but the program sort of palindrome or something in which you want to measure if it is correct from the, so it is same from the right and the left, like SAS. So the 0 would be corresponding to 2, and then 1 will be same. Okay, so for those it will be important. Then you have the slicing. So slicing is just, as the name suggests, is cutting something from the index value. So you're just cutting something from the index value. So you're cutting something from the index value 5 and then printing the rest of the one. So this is the colon. I think if anybody has, if you are not much familiar with it, so it is like from 5 to the rest, give me out. And if you just reverse it, then it will give you from the beginning to the 5. Okay, and then, sorry, so S gone, and then you have the S, and then you just slice it. Okay, now you have this string here. So string is welcome, and now you're trying to slice a small part of it, which is from 0 and to 2. So you're just trying to get the slicing object here, which is so now you're welcome. So you see W, L, and O. So from 0 it will start, and it will keep increasing at the variable 2. So 0, then 1, and then 2. So it picks up the second one, so it is L, and then goes for more, 1 and 2. Okay, so it goes up to O, and it gives you the output. But if I change it here, okay, so you get E as well. So it is going up to the further, how much far you want to put it go. Okay, so I'll just give you 5 minutes, sorry, no, 2 minutes in order to recollect everything, and you say if I'm good to go, I'll go ahead.
Sujit, in
Yes.
line 32, when
Yeah.
you are saying s equal to hello, welcome. So whether it is storing as a string or a variable, I mean, s may be a variable or not.
Yes, is assigned variable, but it is storing a string. Yes.
I mean, earlier you saw about x and y. So is it different from that or same thing?
No, it is similar, no, because in the beginning, when you saw it, I also used to store a name here. So what a name it was coming up was a string, isn't it? So I got x is equal
Yes.
to input, right? And similarly, you see x is equal to 15, y is equal to 30. I can also put x is equal to Sujit, and it will print up that. So Python is an intelligent programming language. It will automatically identify it as string and integers. But the operations change specifically that we'll cover next. So appending and other stuff.
So what is the use of double colon here in line 32?
Just to tell,
I mean, if you just
tell it is a string. That it is collectively a string.
okay,
You know, this whole thing is a string collectively. If I just put it
okay,
a double column here, it will end here. So it will just collect hello as a string. So it's like putting all the characters together to say it.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. 190. Where is line 38? Since I'm implementing it randomly, my line will change. So please let me know. 35.
Sujit,
Yeah. So this 8,
sub.
just 1 second, somebody asked something. So this 8 is telling how much far it has to go. So it is like similarly, if I tell you that you have to start from 0 and you have to end at 8 with an increment of 2. This is what it is representing. So 8 is like, you see, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So 6 is this point, and then 2, you are increasing it. So 0, then you have 2, and then you have 4, and then you have 6. So even if I do it 7, give me WLOE. Okay. See, if I do it 6, it should not, because it's not counting 6 in. Okay, yeah, Priya, you were asking something.
Someone has asked, instead of using double inverted, can we use single inverted? Will it work fine?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
So just to show you the similar thing here, I'll just quickly come to the spider, and if you see it here in my variable explorer, I cannot zoom it. I'm extremely sorry for that in my variable explorer. So if I'm just putting s is equal to in inverted comma Sujit, it will be stored in and it counted as a string. Okay. M is equal to modify become as string. Okay. And okay. So now going ahead, so we have string methods. So this is going to be a bit important. In order to append any string, you just use the plus operator. For example, in the integer, if you do plus, the two numbers get added, right? But if you visualize it in the terms of string, you want to put two strings together, let's say hello and world together, then you will use both of them and just add them up with plus, and it will just concatenate both the strings. Okay, so hello and welcome. So print s1 plus s2, and it will give you hello and welcome. Okay, but if you want to iterate it 3 times or multiple times, you can just multiply it by a specific number and we'll iterate it as many numbers of times. It is very as simple as that, right? Now to iterating through the string, so this is the same thing I was talking to you before, like you can use the indexing to identify the string. So you have, say, count is equal to 0 for L and hello welcome. So L is any, so okay, so before we go to that, it is something related to looping. So you use for loops for looping starting from 1 to, starting from 0 or any place you want, or you can use any index to loop from between. So it says like for, it will start taking variables from those input that you have provided and start implementing it. So for example, here, what it count is equal to 0 initially. So initializing something like this. Now you're using for L in hello welcome. Okay. So this obviously doesn't have any value, right? So if going here and then if L is equal to O, count +1 and then count letters found. Okay, so it is just trying to find the number of letters which are there in the string. Okay, so it is just trying, yeah, so it is just iterating through this whole string and it is trying to find how many small o are present here. So we can see that there is 1 and there is 2. So we saw that number of 2 letters found. Okay, if I change it to some other letter, let's say that L itself, it should come as 3 because we have 3 here. Okay, if I change it to E, it should come as E because we have 3E as well. Okay, and let's say if I change it to something else, then it will be 0. Okay, if I do it W, then it should be 1. So it is like iterating through the whole string to find out how many strings you are, like how many characters you might find. So this is just a basic concept of iteration. You might be able to use it or something. And there are different methods of the string. So we have half an hour and just try to go through quickly. So string methods, dot lower, dot upper. Dot lower is to make any string lowercase. Dot upper is to make any string uppercase. I'll provide you the notebook as well at the end of the lecture. I'll provide it to this committee and they can distribute it among you, and then you can implement it and again put on the Slack for any doubts you have. Then this will split. So this is for splitting all the different. Okay, I'm leaving the questions to you guys. So this is split all the sentences in the split. Okay, so it will just distribute them like this. Will split all words in the list. Use the split function, and you got everyone separated. Okay. Now this is a simple program that I was talking about. So this is a Python program to check whether the string is a palindrome or not. So let's say that my string is this one, race car, and so I lower it down completely. So now it converted to R will become smaller, obviously, and then my string got lower, and then reverse string will be reversed of my string, which will be again RACECAR. Okay. So it is going to check if list of my string is equal to list of reverse string. Print given string is a palindrome, else it is not a palindrome. So there are different methods the computer science students do it, but we are not going to do the programming right now. I'm like not preparing for data structure algorithms for the interviews. So we will try to showing you the conditional statements here. So here you have the conditional statement if. So it is just trying to check that my string, which is stored here, which is the lower case of race car, the same way. So output of this one is the my string output is this thing. Okay. Okay. And then you reverse string that, and then you reverse it. So now the output is this thing, which is now you can see that they are palindrome. They are from the reverse and the front. They both are equivalent. So in Python programming, a list is created by placing all the items inside the square bracket separated by comma. So you can create them. I'll show you in spider command as well that how you can verify that that's a list as well. And then you can add to the list by using a method called append. So my list is defined empty here. And then again, it is updated by 1, 2, 3. And then list with index, you can also mix them. So my list is equal to 1, comma, hello, comma 3.14. So let's go ahead quickly with it. So if I will show you this thing. So I'll just comment it up. I make it empty and I try to print you this thing. It gives you index out of range because it doesn't exist, correct? So now if I do it, it is just empty, which is assigned here. Now I assign you 1, 2, and 3, and now I try to print out the list. It gives you 1, 2, and 3. Now I go to the my list. I mix them with the string and the float and the integer, and I assign them with this one. And now if you print it, you see 1 hello and 3.4. Okay, the previously thing that you was looking at was this thing. So it is just what is that index one. So list index position. I will reiterate this thing that they started with 1. So it started with 0. So this is a 0th position. This is a 1th, and this is the second position. Okay. Then here you have similarly in the my list 1, you have high, and then my list you can just replace any value by here. So for example, you here at my list at first index position you had hello, so you just removed the hello with high, and you now reprint the list and you will get the value of 1 high and 3.4. So it is just changing at the index position. Similarly, by using the same for loop that we have seen before, we can call up all the indexes and reiterate through them to change any values as well. Okay, similar to list is a tuple, but tuple is an ordered sequence of items, same as list, but difference is that tuples are immutable. So it is once created, it cannot be modified, but lists can be. Okay, so for example, I decided a tuple here, so 1 hello 3.4, and you see the tuple, it is coming up as equivalent to the list, but the brackets are changed. Now the m tuple, now I'm trying to modify this one. Okay, by adding machine learning and then 5 4, so it is a nested tuple. Just making the strings, then you have another list inside it and then another tuple inside it. So you saw the list denotation was within the square bracket, so I'm trying to store a list inside a tuple, a string and another tuple, and I got to do so. So I get my string as well as my list as well as my tuple. Okay, so you can, this is to try at home. You can try tuple slicing with variables. I have shown you slicing before, so you can try that out. This is the homework. So you can just try it out, and then if you have facing issue, you can post on the Slack for further solutions. Okay, there is one more program here. So it is a program to sort words in alphabetical order. You can also do that. So there are a few questions that I'm putting up here. Please try to do so. So we have seen now function. Similarly, lists are, we have seen that it's a data structure in which we have sequence data structure. It is collection of items, which is string, integers, and other lists. They are enclosed in square brackets. Each item in the list has an assigned index value. Each item in the list is separated by a comma. Lists are mutable, which means that they can be changed. So list creation, I've shown you. So it is empty list with the square brackets. So you decide the first list to be like this, which is 1 2 3 4. With the string, the list 2 is 1 2 3 4. List of another string. List is a list of list 1 2 3 4, and then 1 4 1. Again, it's a different data type, so you just try to print everyone. So you can print all of the list as well, and you can print either of them to show you what this looks like. It also gives you the length of the list by just using the method len, and it will just give you the length of the list stored here. So for example, this list has 3 items in it, 1 2 and 3, separated by 3 comma. So you have the length of the list is 3 here. To append a list, you use the function called as append. Okay, so as I said before, so once you call this append, it will try to add the item at the end. Okay, so this is the list already defined. Then you call it the append, and whatever you want to append, you add it to the, you just put it in the bracket, and when you print it, it will add it to the end. Okay. So we once you're changing the string, you can make a note of it somewhere. It will be used probably in coming up lectures as well. These things are because majorly you will be using pandas or some other tools for data collection aggregation as well. So list will be used as well. So you can always remember this thing that to check the length of the list, use len to check the length of the list. This might be very useful in terms of running a program or a loop till the end of the till the end of the list. So if I want to run something and I want to call every single index, I'll just use for I in length of the list, and then it will go till the length of the list, or I in range, and then I put the 0 to the length of the list. And then this is the append to change the list. So I want to add something to the list, and then I will use the append. For example, let's say that you have a given series of natural numbers, let's say till n, or say 10, and you just want to add to the list the numbers which are divisible by 2. So what you're going to do is you will call in the first number in the list. So you will call it for I in natural numbers list, and then the first value called divided by 2, it is not equal to 0, so not divisible by 2. But once, so you created even numbers is equal to empty list, and then you just call even number dot append, and if it is divisible by 2, then it is append, and then you append that specific number. Okay, so it will be used for appending and changing or storing up the values further ahead. Then list insert is that inserting a specific values at in the list at a specific indexes. So for example, list is given here, and I want to store that something at index 2, which is 0, 1, and 2. So it will index, so it will insert mathematics at the index 2, and AI will be moved to the third index. Okay. Similarly, you have for remove, you can remove a specific, and you can print the rest of the list. Then append and extend. So I have told you before that append is to add something to the list. So once you add a list to the list, you can see there is another list added to this one. So you can append it. Extend will merge both of the list. Okay, and call them into simple into a single list. Then you have list delete. So the first one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the list. Then you can delete at the position 1. Position 1 is 2. So you deleted it. So you have 1, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Then you can use the pop as well. It is generally used in terms of stack, push and pop. So pop, you can pop something from a specific value. So x is equal to list pop index 1. So when you try to pop, it will pop till 1. So it will just give you, so it will give you 1, 4, and 5. Can somebody tell me why it is 1, 4, and 5?
Because it already deleted 2.
Yeah, perfect. So somebody is awake, no problem. So we have list sorting. So before going to this one, I hope everybody has catched me up with all the other methods of the list. So I'll just quickly tell you again. To the length of the list, it is len. To append, it is dot append. To insert, it is dot insert. It is exactly same as English. To remove, it is dot remove. To append and extend. So append is just merging both of them. Extending is merging both of them into one list. So you have dot extend and dot append. Then you have delete list. So you have delete, and then you can delete specific position. To pop, also you can also use pop to remove something from the specific position. Now this is list sorting. This is to sort a list into a specific order. Okay, so sort a list is, you can use the sorted list function, and I think it is quite fast in the Python to implement this sorting. So you have similar number 3, 1, 6, 2, 8, and then you can sort the list by sorting it. There can be different methods of sorting that in data structure classes. If somebody from computing background, they might have done it like quick sort, selection sort, merge sort, etc. But we are just dealing with the Python here, so you can call an inbuilt function of sorted, and it will give you the sorted list. Okay, or you can just sort the list in itself and call by calling the function. So list.sort, and then you have the list here is sorted. Okay. Strings.
Sujit,
Yes.
in the previous line, like you said, insert.
Yes.
So where will it insert at last? I mean, what will be the position
Yeah, the
of the new
position,
string.
yeah, position you are giving here, no? So insert is position here, index at 2. Okay, so index 2 is 0,
Okay.
1, and 2. So this is the second index, so it will insert mathematics as second index. That's why it pushed the AI to the
Okay.
third index. Okay.
Okay. And suppose we want to delete something. So
Mhm.
whether I mean we can do in both the way, just by naming or just by telling the position.
Yeah, you can tell the position, index value where you want to delete it, and you can delete it.
Okay. So index value or index position, both we can provide. Sujit, you are muted. I didn't.
Oh, sorry, somebody muted me. I don't know. So yeah, so once we will be doing it with the pandas and other stuff, I will be able to show you in place and other stuff. So if you delete something, some values are gone. So how to arrange it in a manner so that they stick together. Do not lose the go through pop once, please. Okay, pop and remove are the same stuff. It's to remove a specific item from something. So you can just you can imagine this thing. Imagine yourself eating a burger. Okay, so let's say that you have a beef burger, sorry, chicken burger, and then you have the bun, then you have the lettuce, and then you have the chicken patty, then you have the onions, and then you have the tomato, and then mayonnaise, and some more lettuce, and then you pack the onion, right? So if you want to remove the top of the onion, what are you going to do is you're going to remove the bun, and then you're going to remove the tomato, and then you're going to remove the onion, right? So that's popping off. So it is the same way that you do pop. So if I want to delete something from a specific position index, I just use the pop here. So I decided the pop. It is called with the list or the stacks, and then from the index 1 you're popping. So the 1 is 2 here, but it was already deleted. So 3 will be the 1 index. So it got deleted. Okay, so 1, 3, 4, 5 was a new list, and then 3 got popped out. It means that you're just taking it out. Okay. I hope that's clear now, right? Pop is like taking anything out, uh, similar to delete. Okay, so now here we are going. So I think pop is, everybody got it, right? Okay, so now we are going for, so looking at the list. So we have done the list sorting, sorry. So string split to create a list. So for example, this is your whole string that we have seen. So we can just split the string in order to create a list of all the strings that are present here in terms of hello, welcome to, and machine learning that we have seen up as well. So it has created you a list which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 5th of index to call up any values. You can extend the list using plus as well. So it is similar to so I've shown you up above as well that you can merge two lists. So you have list one, which is with three values in it. List two with two values in it. If you merge both of them, it will be 5 values in it. Okay. And your list count is 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 2, 5. Okay. So this is the numbers that you have. You can just you can do counting of a specific frequency of a specific digits in a list. So let's say that the one has been repeated twice. So if I just use numbers, which is the list here, dot count, which is the method for the list, I count the frequency of 1. So frequency of 1 is 2. Similarly, I try to count the frequency of 3. It is 2 as well. If I change the frequency number to 5, the frequency should be 1. Okay, so the count function is to check the frequency of everything. List looping is simple. It has explained been above as well that you start with your index value and then you start looping into the list. So 0, 1, 2. So for element in list 1, print element, okay? So ALE, so it's a variable, so it will start with the list 1. So starting the list 1, you have the index 0, 1, and 2. So it will keep on printing every single value. So this is a list comprehension. So it is a way to provide a concise way to create a list, and then where each element of is the result of some operation applied to each member of the another sequence or iterables. It is to create a subsequence of those elements that satisfy a certain condition. So let's say that you have cubes, which is an empty list, and you are starting from I till 10. Okay, so 10 not included. You are going to append to this list the numbers with whose so cube of those numbers. Okay, this is the same thing I was trying to explain you before through a natural number example. So this is an empty list. So with every single print, you are trying to append the values to here. Okay, so if we want to really visualize it, you can do this thing here. So if I show you print cubes, you can see by every single step of the for loop till 10 times it will go, it will try to print a value. You see, so 0, then 0, 1, then 0, 1, 8, then 0, 1, 8 to 27, and it is keep on increasing, right? So it is just appending the values into the original empty list. Similarly, here you have this. So you can just use simple comprehension as well, which is like I cube for I in the range of 10. So it's just in one single line, you will be having the output here. I think you might be very much comfortable in doing it. Don't go for comprehension. You can just try it at simple statements in order to do the Python. Or people who are good with it or want to play with it, they can use the comprehension. Tuple is similar to the list that we have seen. So you have T created, then 4 to 5. Once you print the T, you will come to see 4 to 5. Then again, mixed data types and mixed list as well. So we have all the things. Changing a tuple, so we can't change the tuple as I have explained before. It is immutable. It means that once it is defined, you will not be able to delete or something similar or place similar to the list. So once you try to do that, you will see you will get an error. Okay. Then you have the set. Set, I think this we all know from our class 6, 7, I don't know. The set is an ordered collection of items. Every element is unique and you don't have any duplicates. The set itself is mutable and we can add or remove items from it. The sets can be used to perform mathematical set operations like union, intersection, symmetric differences, etc. So you have 10, 30, 20, 40, and 5. So you see this is a set. So it has been gone here. So my set is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, and then my set. So you try to just print it the my set and you got it here. Okay. So just I'll tell you one more thing. So okay, so one thing to emphasize is there is the set will not have the duplicate. So for example, I have this thing repeating twice, so this will not be called in. But if I put any numbers after this even, it will be called in. So if you want to just find the unique numbers, you can just use it to find out the unique one. Okay. So set and dictionary, I was just overthinking that. So yeah, distinguish set and dictionary while creating empty set. So you can create x is equal to like this and type of x and y is equal to set type of y. So if you just create an empty like this, it will count as a dictionary. In dictionary, it is similar to your dictionary that we use in English. So you have a word and then you have explained meaning. So in the dictionary in the Python, you have the key value and key, and then you have the value corresponding to it. So you type of the x defined like this will be a dictionary, but you have to, when you initialize a set, you will have to call it a set. You have to do so. Dictionaries are quite useful. We might be using it in probably in the some complex programs if we are trying to solve or achieve. Then, for example, my set here is 3, 6, 9, and 12, and then I call it a my set. That is, it cannot have the mutable items. It is already decided here. So unhashable type, which is list, it cannot insert that. So if we try to use for indexing, then also set will say that object is not subscriptable. Okay, so my set 0. If it is done a list, you would have got 18, but since it is that, you will not get an index value from it. how to add an element to the set. For example, you have already defined a set, which is my set. Okay. Yeah. So you have already defined a set, which is my set. You can add a value, then it will you will ask to print it. Okay. So let's, for this purpose, let's say I call it my set once more. So okay. So your my set is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you are adding a specific value it can get, and you can add multiple elements as well to the set. If I make it, if you can delete a value as well, let's say, I just call up this set from here. Okay, but I just so firstly it will sort them, and then let's include some other things so that we know the difference. So you added them. So you added it first time, you added 2, so it is 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, and then you try to again update it, multiple items. So you added 1, so you have now 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Okay, so that's sorted all in order. How to remove an element from the set? For removing an element of the set, you just need to discard a value. So it will just remove the value from the set. For example, print s. So it will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5 in sorted order. Then you can just use discard 4 and remove the 4, or you can just use the remove and then call the index value of that value as well. No, you just no, sorry, not index value. Oh, sorry, you can just remove the element from there as well without using the function remove. So it will just remove the 3 from there. Now you have different sets operation here. So set 1 and set 2. So this is similar to what we have seen in our basic mathematics, that the operation that we use. These, if you are unable to comprehend all of this at the same pace, please just try to hold on. You will get the Jupyter notebook. And don't worry, we will not be using probably all of it, but I'm just trying to give you an overview of Python, that if we are using it in the future, you will not be afraid of using it. And if I'm using it in future, I will also explain it again on the site if you have a doubts on it. So set 1 and set 2, and then you just trying to find the union of two sets. So just merging them together. You can use this, or you can just call the union as well. So the best part of the Python is that if you have forgotten that that in any symbolic operation or something, you can use the simple English language to do so as well. So intersection, set 1 and set 2. So it will just use the intersection to give you the output. Then difference is set 1 minus set 2. So set 1 difference set 2. So it is 1 comma 2. Now we come to the creation. We have seen the dictionary before, right? So when we used the curly braces, we saw that the dictionary was initialized. So I said that you have key and the value. So you initialize my dictionary as simple, curly braces, empty, right? So my dict1 is 1 with ML and 2 as AI. So if I print this, I will get 1 as ML and 2 as AI. Okay. Now similarly, your name is John, and 1 corresponds to ABC and XYZ. Okay, so it will give you that sort of dictionary as well. Similarly, my dict3 is, by just using the term dictionary also, you can create an empty dictionary. It will be very much useful if you are using a program which requires a quick memory usage, because by using maybe something similar to hashing or something, you can access the memory very faster and get the output. So my dict4, so you see here I've decided it is a dictionary, so it is a 1 corresponding to ABC and 2 corresponding to XYZ, so it is called a dictionary, same way. Okay. Similarly, you have my dict, which is name, age, address, education. So you can just a specific value because so age is the key, right? So you're just getting an output. So print my dict age, it should be 35, the value corresponding to age. Or you can just use my dict dot get, and then from the value corresponding to age, and give you 35. Okay, you can update any values or something like that. So name is the key here. So my dict name is equal to Williams. It will replace the John with the Williams, and dict education is equal to PhD. So education will convert to PhD. And my dict name and then my dict education. So you see, just try to print it, and then you got the output as Williams and PhD. The dictionary methods, there are different dictionary methods. So for example, you have form keys. Should I cover this right now or leave it for further? Okay, I am already over time. I don't know if you, Prag, you can let me know, or somebody from the group let me know that if I have to stop. So
Yeah, it will be better if we can stop here.
okay, then
And
I'll just mark it as dictionary methods, and I'll take it in the next lecture. So there is only
yes,
one or
and
two topic actually, not too many. So I'll just start in the beginning. Okay.
how much time approximately it will take to complete?
Maybe say this way because I'm introducing NumPy and other stuff as well. So let's say 20 minutes approximately.
Okay, so stop it. So let's stop it here and open some questions from the participants if they have.
Yeah, go ahead please if you have any
Hello,
questions, and then you can post it on Slack as well.
hello, can you hear me?
Your voice is coming up very squeaky.
Is it clear now?
Now, can you write down your
Uh,
question in the
yeah.
chat? Please share this Jupyter notebook. Yeah, I'll share this Jupyter notebook.
Hello, now is it okay? I wanted to ask what is the difference between remove and discard?
Ankit, better to type in the chat box because your voice is not audible.
Sorry, can I tell his what he's telling? He's asking about differences between remove and discard.
So remove and discard are basically the same thing. We are just trying to remove the same element from this set. For example, that we were defining, like we wanted to remove something. So we said that remove 3. It removed the element 3 from from that one, and then we tried to discard 4, and then it discarded the 4 from that set as well, right? So it is the same thing, almost the same thing. But if you go in very deep of how it will affect your program actually, then you will have to you can use it like you can use actually the remove function from using from a specific indexing, and then putting it at some other indexing as well. So it can be used for that, similar to like copy pasting, but discard can't use that.
Few people are asking, it will be better if you can provide the Jupyter note prior to the lectures further onward.
Yeah, I will be giving a Jupyter. I'll just send the Jupyter notebook right to you, and then you can or you wanted me to put on the Slack something.
Whatever you like, you can put it in the Slack or you can directly mail me. I'll put it in the Slack.
Okay, I'll
I mean,
mail you
prior to
that
the lectures.
prior to the lectures.
Yeah.
Can we use Google Colab instead? Means like it would be
Google.
easy to share between everybody, and then you can
That
run.
is no, actually that is the problem. I don't want anybody else to work on it when I'm working on it. So,
Yeah.
so that was something.
So
Yeah, okay. I'll try to give you
we
the
would
code file,
prefer.
and but if we give you before, I'm like, once I explain it, then you have it and then you can practice it, isn't it? That will make more sense. I'm just trying to find the comfortability. If I give you beforehand, and then I don't think, and then you will have recorded lecture anyway, so you don't need to come to the lecture.
I mean, you can say people are trying to edit your Jupyter file and see the changes. I mean, they don't want to write.
Yeah, so
That's why.
yeah, okay. Or I think actually, see, the one reason I'm not giving you the Jupyter file, I don't want to say for every one of you. Yeah, so somebody saying while typing we lose a lot of time, but fingers will help you to put some of the keywords into your memory. If you just keep on control enter my every cell, I know my every cell works. So that will not be very much helpful. I know that every cell works and will be output, so you'll not be able to remember it for the longer period of time. I know it can be time consuming, but it will help you actually. So let's keep it like this only. So after the lecture, as soon as the lecture finishes, I will drop you the Jupyter notebook. You can then maybe just keep control entering it. But I would prefer that you maintain your own notebook and you keep on writing in that.
There is a question. Can you explain nested list comprehension?
Nested list is simple list inside a list. It is simple, same as like we use nested for like nested loop, a loop inside a loop to keep in it. Can you explain the output of the triangle? The last two lines, why they are saying which triangle is she talking about? What triangle are you talking about? Which line it is?
We printed the cubes.
Okay.
I think
So triangle. Okay, thing that I was.
No. When we printed the cubes, can you hear me?
Yeah. When we printed the cubes.
Yeah. So if you go to the output, there's like the last output comes out to be twice.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just. Oh, okay. So, wow, you guys are quite observant, isn't it? So when I'm printing
okay,
it,
there's a second print. Okay.
yes. So you have two print cubes here. Okay. So first it will print the last element added, and then it will print the
Okay.
Okay, guys, you can also post your queries in the Slack platform, and TH or speaker himself can respond in that Slack channel. And also, before asking questions, please go once through the recordings we will provide you, so that you can have a better understanding. And even if you don't understand, then please ask.
Then obviously we can ask. But I'm just again telling you, reiterating it. What I'm just telling you will be useful. Might be useful when we are doing the program. Some of the components you might never use it. Don't curse me for that. So you can consider that some extra information, and once you can go to the Python, it can be done. However, I know that if you have done that video that I sent you, it would have explained you some basic concepts of the Python anyway. So, but still, it's for my satisfaction, I'm explaining it. And in the next class, we'll cover this. And in the next class, we'll also cover the data representation. So we actually start everything from the next class, which is how to look at the data or present the data. So using different libraries for it.
One small announcement I would like to make. From next lecture onward.
Okay, one more question somebody posted here. Can you tell about prerequisite for ML? If you want to become an ML researcher or deep learning researcher, obviously you have a too much prerequisite. But for this lecture, I have designed it in order to let you understand every single thing in a short fashion, and you have an overall knowledge of the machine learning platforms. But once you go deep into it, you need to know statistics, probability, calculus. That's three basic fundamentals of mathematics. Then you have different models like Bayesian and Boltzmann machines and other stuff. So it depends on the area of research you're working on it. But this tutorial, actually lecture series, will help you in your own research if you are not from the computing background to implement any data and take a meaningful result out of that.
Can I ask a question if there's time?
Yes, please go ahead.
So basically when we were talking about reversing strings,
Yeah.
so you proposed a function called reverse that string, but when I tried it, the output that I got was not a string, it was an object. And then I talked to the TA, and basically we had to convert it into a list and then print it. And even then it did not really look like a string. Whereas what I wanted was, the reversed order of characters. It should look similar to the original object, right? So basically the TAs have been proposing a lot of different solutions to this, like you can see one of them in the chat right now. And then there's also underscore reverse the string. So different functions. So my general question is that how do we choose between these different implementations and which one is the best? Because there was one more of this, like when you propose the function is instance, I think that whether this variable is of this type, you use is instance, and I tried to do it using double equals, that type of x equals int, and then it gives a true false. So essentially it's the same output, I get the same result, except that
in a programming environment, because people keep on developing the new methods and other stuff. So you will have different methods for getting out a different output. None of them are right. None of them are wrong. And you can't, like, there is no best method or something. It can be different with a different beginner to advanced level. It actually depends on the click. For example, when working for Amazon or for the Microsoft in the beginning. So it just clicked. So whenever it clicked to, when I started coding, so I'm coding since I'm 10 years old approximately. So it becomes with intuition actually when you move from the basic to an advanced state. So I was trying to explain here in the lecture, which is the basic knowledge in order to do so. And also, you can look at the similar approaches, maybe when you try to solve any problem or something online, and then you see the similar solution in the same line of context as well. So you will have the similar background to do so. For example, the concept remains same. For example, somebody is asking that my string : minus work, how this works. It is the same way as I showed you before, isn't it, in the program, that how an incrementation was happening. So 0, 8, and 2. So so it was incrementing in the terms of 2, right? So it is same thing, exactly same thing, no changes, right? So it is -1, so it means that it will decrement from the -1, and then you have colon and colon. It's telling that you have to start at the end of the string at the end of the position 0, and you have to move with the step -1. So it means like one step backwards. So it will keep on printing this towards backward. Okay.
Okay, guys, I think we should stop here. Further, if you have queries, then you can ask in next session or in the Slack platform. And one more announcement I would like to make. You can join 5 minutes earlier in the next session, so that while we are waiting for other participants, meanwhile you can ask questions, and whoever TH or speaker is available, they can answer at that time. Okay.
Yeah, that would be great. Additionally, one thing you should not expect is to program, get a program from any one of us to solve your assignments in a class or the projects. So before I was taking from the lecture, I was taking somewhere more lecture, and one participant came and said that I have been trying Boltzmann machines for a long time and I don't know how to program it. Can you please program it for me? I'm not going to do that. I can tell you the concept, but not going to do that. Okay.
Of course, this is the best way of learning.
Right. Perfect. So I'll drop you.
Okay, guys.
I'll drop the lecture note just right now in the Slack itself in the machine learning group, and you can have it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Then
Thank you.
have a
Thank
great
you all
day.
for joining us.
Bye.